Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're focusing on a topic lots of people navigate, dating and relationships, but specifically how to talk about it all in English.
Exactly. We've looked at some really useful stuff, and the idea today is to give you the words, the phrases, basically the tools you need.
Yeah, tools to sound more natural, feel a bit more confident when you're discussing, romance, dating, all that.
We want you to feel comfortable. So we'll cover some key vocabulary, common ways to talk about your relationship status, some really natural expressions.
And even touch on grammar that's helpful for describing past dates or what's happening now.
Okay, so where do we start? Vocabulary seems like the logical place, the building blocks.
Right, the absolute basics, like go on a date. Pretty fundamental.
Super fundamental. It just means, that planned meeting with someone you might be romantically interested in, like we went on a date last night. Simple.
But before you go on the date, someone's got to make the first move, right?
Yeah, yes. Ask someone out. That's the phrase. Inviting them. So, he asked me out last week.
And even before that, maybe you just like someone. From afar, maybe.
That's where have a crush on someone comes in. That sort of secret or not so secret admiration.
Yeah, like I think she has a crush on him. You hear that a lot.
Okay, so the asking out happens, the date goes well, maybe another date.
Then you might start seeing someone. It suggests it's becoming a regular thing.
Exactly. It's more than just one meeting. I've been seeing someone new. Implies it's progressing.
Now, reality check. Sometimes things don't work out.
Unfortunately, yes. That's when couples break up. The relationship ends. You'd say they broke up after 2 years.
But the story doesn't always end there, does it?
No, sometimes people decide to give it another go and they get back together.
Meaning they reconciled, started the relationship again, like they got back together last month.
And then just stating the fact, you can be in a relationship.
Yep, I'm in a relationship now. Clear, direct. Tells people you're partnered up.
So those are some core verbs and phrases, really useful stuff.
Definitely. Okay, so building on that, how do you actually tell someone your situation, your relationship status?
Right. There are standard ways to do this. The clearest is probably just, I'm single.
Means you're not currently involved romantically with anyone. Straightforward.
Or the opposite, I'm in a relationship.
Hmm.
This usually implies something, committed.
A bit more serious, yeah. Then there's, I'm dating someone. How's that different?
It can be a bit ambiguous, actually. It means you're going on dates, but maybe it's not official yet. Still exploring, perhaps?
Ah, okay. Less defined than in a relationship.
Exactly. And if you want to give a time frame, you can say, we've been together for 6 months, or however long it is.
Gives context. And what about when things are messy?
Ah, yes. The classic, it's complicated. Everyone knows what that means, or rather, that they don't know exactly what it means. It's intentionally vague.
Covers a multitude of situations, I guess.
Definitely. And then some people are upfront about their intentions. I'm not looking for anything serious right now.
Setting expectations. Good to know that one.
It really is. And practicing saying these aloud, helps make them feel natural when you need them.
Totally agree. Okay, let's move on to some more colorful language. Those everyday expressions people use.
Yes. These make conversations sound much more authentic, like we really hit it off.
What does it mean exactly?
It means you connected really well right from the start. Easy conversation, good feeling, maybe laughter, you just clicked.
Nice. Okay, what about when you're describing your ideal partner?
You might say, I'm looking for someone who shares my interests, or shares my values, or has a good sense of humor, whatever it is.
Specifies what you want.
Yeah.
And the opposite, what you don't want.
You could say, I'm not into casual dating, makes it clear you prefer something more serious or meaningful.
Right. And that feeling, that connection.
Ah, we have great chemistry. That suggests a strong mutual attraction, a spark. You feel it.
A bit more intense than just hitting it off, maybe.
Yeah, often implies a stronger physical or emotional pull, I'd say.
And the really intense version.
It was love at first sight, very dramatic. Means falling in love the moment you meet someone.
Probably rarer than the movies suggest.
Probably. And then, on the flip side, sometimes you realize it's just not working.
How would you phrase that politely?
You might say, I don't think we're a good match. It suggests incompatibility without necessarily blaming anyone.
Okay. Now, a very modern, unfortunately common one.
Oh, you mean ghosting? Yeah.
Yeah.
He ghosted me or she ghosted me, meaning they just stopped all communication suddenly. No texts, no calls, no explanation, just gone.
Ouch. Not pleasant.
Not at all. And on a more positive note, If things are developing but not rushing.
You'd say we're taking things slow.
Exactly. Building the relationship gradually, no pressure to define it too quickly.
These are great. Knowing these really helps you understand and participate in those kinds of conversations.
Absolutely, they add nuance. So maybe we could hear a quick example of how these might sound in a real chat.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Let's imagine a little dialogue, like person A asks person B about a date.
Okay, so A says, "Hey, how did your date go?"
And B replies, "It was great. We had dinner and talked for hours."
A, nice. Are you going to see them again?
B, definitely. We're going out again next weekend.
Then A could say, "Sounds like you two really hit it off."
See? That hit it off fits perfectly there. Summarizes that positive connection B described.
Exactly. It's concise, natural, listening to, and maybe even practicing short exchanges like that is super helpful.
Right. Okay, let's switch focus a bit. Let's talk grammar. Specifically, tenses that crop up a lot when discussing dating.
Good point. Choosing the right tense really clarifies the timing. The present perfect is key.
How so?
Well, you use it for recent things or life experiences where the exact time isn't the main point, or it's still relevant now. Like, I've been dating someone recently. It's ongoing or very recent.
Or I've never been on a blind date. That's about your life experience up to now.
Precisely. But if you do want to talk about a specific finished time in the past.
Then you need the past simple.
Mm-hmm.
We met last summer. The meeting happened then. It's finished.
Or, I went on a date last Friday. Again, specific, completed action.
Okay, makes sense. And what about things happening right now?
That's usually the present continuous. I'm seeing someone implies it's happening currently.
Like we discussed with seeing someone earlier.
Yes. Or, we're getting to know each other. Describes an ongoing process happening now.
So understanding these tenses, present perfect, past simple, present continuous, helps you paint a clear picture of the timeline.
Definitely. Avoids confusion about whether something is over, just started, or has been going on for a while. It adds precision.
Okay, great. So, listener, now it's kind of your turn. Time for some active practice.
Yeah, we've thrown a lot of phrases and ideas at you. Now's a chance to try using them yourself. Think about these questions.
First one, have you ever been on a date? Simple yes, no, or add a bit more detail.
And what do you look for in a partner? What qualities are important to you?
What's your ideal first date? Coffee, dinner, something else.
And thinking about your preferences. Do you prefer serious relationships? Or is casual dating more your style right now?
Finally, maybe reflect a bit. How do people usually date in your culture? Are there specific customs?
And just to give you a little push, some possible ways you might answer.
You could say, yes, I've been on a few dates. I like getting to know new people, using that present perfect.
Or, I look for someone who is kind and has a sense of humor. Simple, present, for general preference.
For the ideal date, my ideal first date would be a walk and a coffee, using would for a hypothetical ideal.
Try saying your own answers out loud, even if you're just talking to yourself.
It really does make a difference, doesn't it? Moves it from just knowing to actually using.
Absolutely. It builds that muscle memory for speaking.
Okay, nearly wrapping up, but let's quickly touch on culture. Dating isn't the same everywhere.
True. In many English-speaking places, like the US or UK, for example, early dating can be quite casual.
Meaning?
Meaning it's not always assumed to be exclusive right away. People might go on dates with a few different people initially.
Right, kind of like testing the waters before deciding to focus on one person.
Exactly. That defining the relationship conversation or the DTR talk often comes a bit later. It's usually not assumed from date one.
Good cultural context to have, and if people want to see more examples of this language in action.
Oh, well, media is great for this. Watching TV shows, especially sitcoms about friends or families, can be brilliant.
Like Friends, obviously, or How I Met Your Mother, shows where relationships are central.
Yes, or even things like Modern Family. You hear natural dialogue, arguments, romantic moments. It's all useful exposure.
And online?
Language exchange apps are fantastic for actual practice with real people. And, YouTube clips from movies or shows, often with subtitles, can let you focus on specific scenes or phrases.
Great tips. Lots of ways to keep learning and observing.
Definitely makes it more fun and less like homework.
So let's quickly recap this deep dive. We've covered quite a bit.
We looked at essential dating vocabulary, ways to talk about your relationship status, lots of common, natural-sounding expressions.
Like hit it off or ghosted.
Yeah.
We touched on the grammar, those key tenses, and a little bit of cultural insight, too.
The goal was really to boost your confidence and fluency when talking about this whole area of life in English.
Because talking about relationships, personal connections, such a common part of everyday conversation. Being able to do it comfortably is a big step.
It really is. So, thinking ahead, what else might be useful?
Yeah, we were wondering, would you, our listeners, be interested in us diving deeper into related topics?
Yeah.
Maybe how to navigate breakups more specifically.
Or perhaps exploring more complex romantic idioms, those really poetic or figurative expressions, or even a whole session just comparing dating culture differences around the world.
Let us know what you think. What would you find most helpful for your English journey?